Second topic is, if you visit every component, in every component you have table, right? In almost every component of our project, you have tables. If you talk from medicine master, here also you have table. If it is patient, here also you have table. User, here also we have table. So isn't it like we are repeating our code? This table, T head, TR, TH, T body, TR, TD. This is repeating or no?
Yes, sir.
So what we can do to avoid this repeating?
Reusable component or
Hmm?
reusable component you have to use.
Reusable component. Okay. Now see all the pages. Okay. Medicine master. Here we have this thing. Okay. What is changing over here? And let's open the patient list side by side. And this is your patient list. This is medicine component, medicine table, and this is patient component. What is changing over here? What data is changing? What data is changing? Or what is common? Forget about changing. What is common? If something is common, then only we can create a reusable component. Na? So what is common over here?
Serial number, name.
But no, here let's say yeah, medicine name and patient name was there, but this can be
HTML
changing. Na?
elements.
HTML elements are common. Table, T head, TR. Yeah, in TH values are changing. Again T body, TR, TD. Yeah, again TD values are changing. But the whole structure is almost same. Getting it? So we can put that structure in your reusable component. Then let's say you created a reusable table component. What data you can expect? What data you will pass? What data will be needed from the parent component? Sorry.
Header
It is
details and list.
right. What number of columns you have and what data? That's it, no? Okay. Let's see that now. Just try to understand. Some if you have not created a reusable component when we have saw that you might feel it little bit difficult. Okay. Shared component. Oh, custom table, we already had it. So component was created. Okay. Now what thing was getting repeated that I will move it to my reusable component. So I'm copying it from table responsive. So this thing I'm copying and moving it over here. Okay. Now, so consider this is your reusable component element. How many input you will need? How many input you will need? How many input you will need?
One for column names and one for
One
values.
for the actual data. One array and again array specifically. You know, columns are multiple. Na? One array for columns and one array, one input for data. What data actually? So you will need two input. That's the rate input. Column list. It will be string of array. Empty. Okay. Why it is doing it?
Parenthesis.
Sorry. No, I have every day, whole day I'm working on React. So sometimes when you work on multiple language, there I'm using directly function without writing, get mixed up. Input column list, then grid data, actual table data. Now it can be any of array because you cannot know because the same table you are going to use in patient list, same table you are going to use it in medicine list. So what type of data is not fixed? That's why any. So sometimes they will ask you question, ki, yeah, we should not use any. Then what will be the, if they have given any, so obviously there will be a use case. So what will be the scenario where you have to use any? So this is kind of a scenario where you don't know. Let's say you have a reusable table component and you are expecting a grid data, table data. Now that reusable table, you will use it into the medicine also, product also, employee also. Data will keep on changing. So you cannot provide class or interface over here because data is going to change. It can be anything. So you should be able to accept any type of data. So that's why any. So your answer should be if you don't know what type of data you are going to get, it can change. So you have to go with any. Okay. But
Sir,
when you know,
instead of any, we can go with type T.
T also we
Please.
can use. Okay. But remaining people don't know it. If you know it, instead of this, you can make it a generic also, and you can go with T also. Okay. Now, so we created two input column list. Now in column list, you are going to get string of array. So let's see in medicine master. Now I will comment this existing table. Now here app hyphen custom table. Save, import custom table, save. Now here you need to pass the column list. Column list it is going to be array of strings. So square bracket like this. Here only you are creating. I can create it into .ts, putting it to a variable, and then I can pass it over here, or here also you can have. Now how many columns you have? Name. So I'm passing the field name for now. Okay, I'm not passing the something extra. I'm passing directly the field name. I will explain little bit later. And form. Only 3 columns we have. Okay. So from your medicine component, you are using the reusable component and passing the data column list. And second, grid data is equal to nothing but your medicine list. This is where you have the data. So you created two input and you pass the data from the parent component. Now, here, this should be repeating. So let's say serial number is static. We don't want to repeat that. So add the rate for loop. What is our column name? Here you are going to get the array key. How many columns are there? And th will go over here and item will be dynamic. Okay. So you don't need to static this. And action will be again static. So serial number and action will be static, but actual column name will be changing. Now, let's comment this. Now in medicine master, I have used this just like that. There it is. In user component also, I will use it. So user component. This whole div I will comment. Add hyphen custom table. Okay. Now in app custom table also, now here I will create the variable. So here let's say column data. So there we have created pass the data from the HTML itself. Here I'm creating an array and then I will pass this variable over there. Now what things are there? Full name, mail, roll number, is active. Let us see, because I need to explain this again. Is active I'm not passing because here we have boolean value. We have to do boolean true or false like that. Or now I'm skipping that. So we created a variable where we have array. What number of columns? Now here column list is equal to this and your grid data. Grid data is nothing but this signal value where you have the data. Okay. So now in user table and the medicine table, you are using your reusable component. Now let's see how it is rendering. See, in medicine master, serial number is static and this is static, but name, strength and form is coming. If I go to the user, see this. So this is coming from your reusable table. See, custom table. In medicine also custom table. Getting it? So your columns are coming as per the page. So reusable table you are using medicine and the user. So whatever the data you are passing, according to that, column names are dynamic. This is clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next thing will be in every specific column, you have to render the specific data also. So first for loop will be on your grid list. So this will be on grid list, grid data. Okay. This will be static. This will be static, just like over here, serial number and the actions are static. So serial number and this will be static, but this should be dynamic, right? The remaining TD is actual data. So how many, if I'm saying this has to be dynamic, because in case of user, we have so many columns. In case of medicine, we just have few. So this cannot be static like this, right? So how do we make this dynamic? How do you make this dynamic? How do you know how many columns you have to print? See over here. In user, 1, 2, 3, 4. In medicine, 1, 2, 3. These are the columns, na? That many column TD should be there, dynamic. So how do you know how many columns you have to create? How many TD you should create? Are how many data you have got it in column list? That many data only you will show it over here, na? Getting it? How many columns you have it over here? That many TDs you will need, correct? So this TDs also should be dynamic, na? This is static. See, serial number and the action button, these are static, na? But this data here also, whatever the structure you have it over here, same structure should be over here. Try to imagine it. Your serial number and the action are static over here. So that's why you have created, you are iterating on the grid data. TR is getting iterated inside that DD, this TD will be fixed, this TD will be fixed. But in between, how many columns are there? That should be dynamic. So again, inside this for loop, again you will use a for loop. So at the rate for loop TD or column of column list. And how many columns you need dynamic, that will be depend on this thing over here. Now understood? See here I will write TD data. See now. See. Now what number of columns are there, that many proper data is coming in user also. Understood what we just did? This TD should be multiple, but how many? What number of columns you have? Understood this? Why I have used the for loop over here? See, let me remove this TH. Might be possible, this might be confusing you. Now see, what number of columns you have, that many TD should be there. See now. Understood? What number of columns you have, that many TD should be there, na? So you are iterating on the column. So what number of columns you have, TH you have, that many TD also you will get. Now clear? Why we have iterated it over here like this? Okay. So again, I'm putting it because the first TH and the last TH was static. So that's why I didn't iterate on it. Now here you need to provide the relative data, right? Here name, here strength, here form. So whatever the data you have, that you should show. Now item has the whole object. See, I will bring the item. This is the logic. Okay, item. It will have object. So I will use JSON pipe. I need to show you. So item JSON. So see now. So in every item, you can see the whole object you get specific. This is for Abhishek record. This is for Aditya. Kanchan. Getting it? So same data is there. Whole object you get in item. And now the column. So first I'm passing the column. See, this is your column. This is your column. See, above the TH, same column name is getting printed. Now full name is over here. And in object also you have the full name. Now from object, you want to print the value of this particular key. You have a whole object. And from this object, what value you want to print? Whatever the key name you have it over here in the column. How you will extract it? You have the whole object. And from that object, you need a value. But you know the key. What key value you know it? How you will extract Abhishek over here? How you will extract Aditya over here?
Item dot column.
Item dot
Column.
item dot column. Will it work? Let's try it. Save. It's not printing anything. What is item dot column?
Item of.
When you write this item dot column, so it is checking like column property is there or not. But we don't have column property over there. What do we have in column? See, this column is this column is this same. This column and this column is this same.
No.
This is different. This is different now. When you write dot directly property name, it is trying to find item, whatever the value you have it. Does it has column property in that item object? So in column you got the value. Now column is like a variable, but here you are acting as like it's a text. So how do you extract
square bracket?
Square bracket? You know, in JavaScript we have seen na, ki how do you extract a value from object? Either using dot or the key name you are getting from another variable. So square bracket and the column. So you are picking the dynamically now. Save. See. Got it? In respective field, you are extracting the respective value. Medicine. Clear? Your reusable component. Whatever the input you are passing, it is rendering that. Whatever the data you are passing, it is rendering it perfectly. So this is that logic in reusable component. Okay. Now edit and the delete. So you need to, whatever the record you click on edit, that record you need to pass it, right? So at the rate output on edit, new event emitter. You don't know what type of data you are going to pass. It can be employee object, user, medicine, it can be anything. So any at the rate output. This. In delete also you want to pass the object because you don't know what is the primary key, right? So you will pass the whole object, that in the parent component it will extract the remaining property. So here respective function, click on edit record and you will pass the item. So this item you will pass it over here, just like that over here. Okay, let's create this function. From UI you are passing the object, so that is data you need to cache it over here. Now here this dot on edit dot. How do you send the data back to the parent component? By using output.
Emit.
Emit. In case of subject, next. In case of output, emit. Okay, and you want to pass the data. On delete also almost same. this dot on limit dot limit. We will pass the data. So from your reusable component, if someone clicks on edit, you are emitting the data. Now in your parent component, let's say user, on edit. Now you already had a function. Oh, we didn't create it over here. Let's create a function on edit. This is a reusable component. Okay, you will get the data. What is this medicine data on edit? This function we will call it over here, and from the you are passing the data, right? So you need to catch it $event. Okay, so once from the reusable component, when you emit the function, you are passing some data, right? So that data you catch it over here, and you want to reinitialize your form. So how do you reinitialize your form? This is a reactive form. On click of edit, your form should populate the data. How you will do it? What method is there? How you reinitialize the form, or how do you provide the value to this form?
Patch value.
Patch value, or
Sit.
when do you use patch? When we use patch function.
We don't want to give
Like
all
some value need to change.
Some value patch. If you want to change the whole set value, so here we will go for a set value. So this dot user form dot set value, and we will pass the whole object medicine data. Okay, let's add a debugger over here and over here also. So from your child component, you are passing some data. That data you are expecting in the child parent component. You are setting the value to the form. Let's see it now. So on click of admin, edit. You are currently in the custom table. You got the data, Kanchan record, that you are passing it along with the output. You got that data over here. See, in the parent component, that you are setting it. But that didn't open. Why? The side panel should be true. Where it is form open this variable, we have to make it true, then that side panel will be visible. Start this is equal to true. Second. On click of Aditya record, we got Aditya record in the child component. We are sending it back to the parent component. In the parent component, we got it, that we are setting it array or y. Reference we saved it.
Sir, you have added in different method.
Oh, we can call this function only. No, why didn't it? We have this function already which toggles the same variable we are toggling. Now click of edit. Why we are getting an error? Cannot find control with name ID. Let's check it. Something is wrong. So in our reactive form, when we created the reactive form, we didn't have ID property. Okay, because in our post API, we didn't have that ID primary key. But when you click on the edit, in port API, it expect an ID. Array, in port API also it doesn't expect. This was my wrong. Sorry, AI wrong. It removed the primary key from all the post and the put API. And see why it is giving error now. The reactive form which you have, you don't have ID control. Okay, but when you click on the edit, it has ID, and this ID is not present in your user form. So that's why it is giving error. Okay, so let's add ID for now. ID colon okay 0. Not sure it will give error to the save or post or not, but let's see. At least our form will initialize. Edit. Still it is breaking. While setting whether it is breaking. User form. Yeah, ID is there now. ID is over here. Okay, now it might be breaking for another role ID. Project name. So now you have to, instead of doing this, so from employee data, that data is nothing but your get data, because your set form post API has only limited number of fields, but in get API you are getting so many fields, right? So you want to create a new object over here, constant data is equal to this. What data you need, what properties you have, that data only you extract. So the data dot, like this, you extract the data, then you pass it. Instead of passing the whole thing, pass the extracted data. Okay. Now you have created an object which exactly expect the reactive form. Okay. Now this data you will pass it over here. So what your reactive form expect, that data only you can pass. No extra parameters are present over there. Let's check it now. On click of edit, what the data. Yeah, this line got executed successfully. So your form got populated with the same. If I click on Chetan, now that function is getting, because we are calling this function na. First time you edit, you are calling this function, it's okay, then again you click on edit, so it's breaking, it is hiding, so you need to make it true only. Every time you don't need to make it true. If it is already open, you don't want to close it. So if it is already open, you don't want to call this function. If it is false, then only you will call this function. Edit, you got Aditya record, Satish, see, whatever the record you are clicking, your form is getting populated with that. Clear? Just like delete also, again cache the data and then you make the API call. So here again, just like this, on delete, on stop, delete, dollar event, you cache the data, then you pass it along with the API. Right here, item this dot delete, and you need the item. So item dot staff ID, user ID, you will pass it. Okay. So this is how we create a reusable table component. Almost big MNC normally sometimes they will use PrimeNG or AG grid, but sometimes they don't want to depend on the third party library. So they will create their own table like this. Again, this is very basic. It will have searching, pagination, everything will be over here itself. Again, there is a flag. Is searching field server side or filter side? If it is server side, it will get you the data. Then you can pass it along with the API. If it is client side, here only it will filter. You don't have to do anything. So reusable table. Again, very basic example we have completed.